We are back at the CBC ALC conference, and I'm here now with the president, correct?
National director, but that's
National
fine.
director, okay.
Might as well be a
Right.
president. Lean into
Mr.
it.
Maurice Mitchell of the Working Families Party, and our Black Male Church correspondent, Kelly Bethea. And excuse my voice, but look, I'm extremely excited to be here with you all today. And Kelly, I'm going to let you kick it right off so I can get my voice
Yeah,
together.
you gotta. We're gonna get you some Fisherman's Friend lozenges after this, CJ. All right, Maurice, thank you so much for being here. I know you through mutual friends, and I've known of the Working Families Party for a few years now. And when you came on, I was really excited about what you are doing within the organization and how you're taking it to new heights through your platform, through your own branding, and just launching it forward. So, for the people who don't know what Working Families Party is,
Sure.
talk about it.
Well, the Working Families Party is a national political movement. And basically, we believe that the people should govern, not corporations, not the uber wealthy. And I think most people understand that in this country and in a lot of places, generally, if you have a lot of money, if you're a big corporate exec, that you could take advantage of government corruption to get your way. And we think in a democracy, we shouldn't stand for that the people really should lead. And what we do is we create programs so that everyday people like teachers and school principals like Jamal Bowman, who's in Congress, could run and lead and win, right? Everyday folks who, based on their experience, know what it's like to have a little bit of debt or have a lot of debt, know what it's like to have to struggle to make childcare work out and pick up and drop up work out. We believe like those folks should be in City Hall, should be in Congress, should be in the White House. And we work 365 days a year to make that happen so that people could truly, truly govern.
I know that's right. Now, you're called the Working Families Party.
That's correct.
I do work,
Yes,
but I'm a single woman
that's right.
and I don't have no kids. So, no family.
Yeah.
Why is it called Working Families Party? And can this single Black woman with no kids join?
All right, so our definition of family is broad, right? It's both the family that you might have been born into, and it's also your play cousins and the family that you recruit, right?
Yep.
And so we all have family. We all have people who are the closest people to us, the people who mean the most to us. And when we talk about family, that's what we're talking about. Not just your blood family, although that is a version of family. It's the people that we pick up along the way, that we work with every single day, that we struggle with every single day to make a way. And when we say working families that we're talking about, and when we say working, we don't just mean employed. We mean every single person who has to hustle to figure things out. Some of those folks are employed, some of those folks are unemployed, some of those folks are fun employed, but everybody who's in the hustle, the Working Families Party is your political home.
Absolutely. Now, when it comes to this party, from what I have seen and from the people that I've seen you endorse and get into these places like Bowman, they are more so progressive left wing.
Yeah.
Now, is there, even in a hypothetical world, where Working Families Party could possibly endorse somebody right of center? Based off of the initiatives that you guys promote?
Well, let me get into that because we like to view things a little bit differently than what you might see on TV news. TV news talks about the left-right debate or the Republican-Democrat debate. It's, to me, creating these two binary options, that doesn't really reflect where our people are at.
Right.
I know people who have some ideas that you might consider to be progressive ideas, but then they also have some ideas that might be a little bit conservative. Most people don't see themselves in that way. Some people do. People who are like political nerds might see themselves in that way. I'm more concerned about the politics of the top and bottom.
Yes.
And I'm more concerned about the basic fundamental values that we were all raised with. What would it look like if our government actually aligned with the values that our grandmoms and our moms raised us with, right? And so that's a conversation that I think will cut across a lot of these partisan divisions. For example, when people see the UAW fight, and they hear the fact that corporate executives are making more than 500 times their employees.
Right.
And their employees have not gotten a raise, but the executives have gotten 30, 40% raises and are making like 20, $30 million. Most people know in their heart that's not fair. And the polling shows that more than 70% of people, this is across race, across partisanship, are aligned and in solidarity with labor unions. So for me, as the Working Families Party, I want to talk to that 70%.
Yeah.
Right,
I don't want
right.
to just talk to the people who might consider themselves progressive, or the people who might consider themselves conservative might think, oh, I have nothing in common with the Working Families Party. Well, no, if you're struggling, like so many people are, and you're tired of these bigwigs getting their way, then we have a conversation to have with you. And so we're trying to build a politics that are bigger than these narrow sort of left-right Democrat Republican. And what I see online, especially with Black folks, is this: okay, we understand that the Republicans have been touting a lot of these racist policies, but what do we get from being part of the Democratic Party coalition? Are we getting everything we should be getting with all of our votes? That's a legitimate conversation, but I don't think that we can have that conversation if all we do is talk about the two-party system, because there's Black conservatives that say, oh, Black people need to get out of the Democratic Party plantation. But then why would you leave one plantation and then go to the plantation across the street?
Right.
And so at the Working Families Party, we're building our own. It's a Black-led, multiracial, working people's political party. If you're going to leave a plantation, you should come to freedom. And so that's what we're trying to offer folks.
That's a word.
A path to freedom.
That's
I'm glad
a word.
that you
That's
said
a
that.
bar.
I would.
Bars on bars on bars.
What does progress look like to the Working Families Party? And what would a candidate need to have? Like, what's on that list of an ideal type of candidate for the Working Families Party?
So I don't think there's any ideal type of candidate, but number one, we want the type of people who would resist being candidates, right? Usually the people who raise their hand are like, I'm ready. They tend to have the things that are required to be a candidate, which is like a high opinion of themselves, and right, and a lot of motivation. But we look for other things, like, are you committed to your community? Do you have values where you will be accountable to the people who got you there and won't forget them when you get into office?
Right.
And are you interested in a platform, not just popularity? Those are the things that we're interested in. And so we choose candidates who are union organizers, who are parents, who are teachers, people who aren't popular, but they're the people on your block that everybody knows because they're always checking in on everybody. Yeah. They're the people who, like in the school, they're always making sure that the kids, even the kids that maybe aren't their kids, are getting home from school. Those are the types of people that we're interested in, and we think that they can be candidates. Often, they don't think they could be candidates. And that's what makes my job so exciting, because I'm able to help them understand how they have the power to be able to change their community.
So you really are organizing and activating even the candidates in that regard.
Absolutely.
I like the perspective of the Working Families Party with that regard, because so many times we often see Black votes being used as almost like a political booty call. I'm just being real. We see us get the what you doing text at 2:00 in the morning rather than people who are working with us from the outset. And so I think what you're doing is critical, it's essential, and it's a great alternative to thinking in a binary manner about what progress really can look like.
Look, I think our ideas, what we're putting forth, is an alternative that matters, right? You know, I scroll on Instagram all day and I see the chatter, and I hear what people say, because people say, look, are our votes as Black people being taken for granted?
Right.
And I'm like, okay, I'm with you there. And then they shift to an alternative that ain't gonna matter, right? And so I'm like, great, I'm with you, but let's actually talk about an alternative that will matter.
Right.
And that's what we're building. So we agree that the politics of the Republican Party and the MAGA forces, that they're dangerous, that they're wild, that
They're wrong.
in
Staying all the way
office,
away from
they're
that.
going to take away all of our rights.
Yeah.
We believe that.
Understand.
But we also believe that too many Democrats have taken our votes for granted.
Yeah.
And what we've developed over 25 years is that you could do both.
Yeah.
You don't have to choose, all right, let me work with everybody who wants a democracy to stop the Republicans, or let me focus on building independent Black political power.
Yeah.
You can do both. In fact, we must do both.
Right.
And so electing independent Black figures like Kendra Brooks and Nicholas O'Rourke in Philadelphia, who are running for Philly City Council. These are independent Black political voices from Black Philly. Kendra Brooks now sits on City Council because she's part of the Working Families Party. And then soon we're recruiting Nicholas O'Rourke to join her.
Okay.
These are independent voices, and they're able to do meaningful things. They're not just sitting on the City Council. Because Kendra was there, she was able to negotiate housing legislation and negotiate to make sure that there's resources, non-police mental health response.
Yes.
Because we know so many of our people, unfortunately, get caught up in police violence because they have a legitimate mental health need. Then somebody calls the police in the community, and then
the police wind up shooting.
Exactly. So what would it look like if we had non-police responders who are prepared to deal with those things?
Right.
Kendra's coming up with solutions in the city council that otherwise wouldn't happen, right? And she knows it because she lives in Nicetown. So these types of politics are happening all around us. The Working Families Party, we're in more than a dozen states and growing. We endorse more than 1,000 people. We have pipelines specifically designed for everyday people like the folks who are watching. And so we invite folks. This is a political home. You talked about the political booty call. What I use, and I could agree with you there. I talk about the beautiful car or the limo that is the Republican or the Democratic Party. You're not in the driver's seat. You're not even in the passenger seat. What they often do is put Black communities in the trunk.
Oh.
And then, around October, they open up the trunk. And they shoo us over to the voting line.
Not they taking
have
us
us
out at
pull
Christmas
the lever,
time.
and then they put us back in the trunk.
Yeah.
Right? What if we had our own? Maybe it won't be a limo, right? But what if we had our own? I don't know.
I'll go for a Tesla.
We're just trying to look.
Listen,
We're just trying to get where we're trying to go.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
a nice charter bus.
A charter bus.
There we go.
But it was our vehicle that we could drive.
Exactly.
That's what we're building.
Yeah.
What could that look like? And look, we're showing and proving that it's possible. So, the current Attorney General in New York, Tish James, she started off as an independent Working Families Party candidate for City Hall years and years ago. Jumaane Williams, the current public advocate of New York City, started off as an independent Working Families Party candidate and now is one of the highest office holders in New York City. And Tish James is one of the highest office holders in New York State. These politics work. These are vehicles and tools that Black folks now can take through the Working Families Party so that we could have our own vehicle and we could get out of the trunk.
So, Maurice, I want to thank you so much for taking the time to be here with us. Kelly, was there anything else you wanted to say?
I'm just, my heart is full. I've been meaning to interview you for years now.
Well, I did want to say one
Have me
thing.
on anytime.
I want you to let people know how they can get in contact with the Working Family Party, how they can follow you, how they can find you.
Absolutely. The easiest way is to go to workingfamilies.org or to text WFP to 30403. And anybody can follow me on all social media platforms at Maurice WFP.
Okay. Well, look, great job, and we love what you're doing.
All right. Appreciate
Thank
y'all.
you so much.